trying to remember exactly what happened 2 weeks ago. I mean, it was a
Remember, it was raining.
interesting race.
Very hard.
Oh,
Oh look, we bought Brazil
raining.
with us.
Yep,
So,
full
heavy rain.
wets.
So whatever tires they pit on, it'll hopefully be full wets, not inters, because even that looks too wet for inters. They'll be able to start on whatever strategy they want, given that it's wet throughout the entire session, and by the look of things, it will be.
Yes.
Maybe a few
So
alternate setups to suffice, maybe?
I could do. I mean, you're gonna have to compromise with setup, particularly with the weather. We don't actually know the weather for the race, so it's gonna be an interesting one to say the least now. And I feel like the added bonus or difference that is made by wet weather is it's an equalizer of pace, I'd say.
Yeah. Because of the wet weather, we do see some people come into their own. Like, I can't remember who won last week, but I remember certain few were definitely on it. Some names that spring to mind are Tom123 for the win, Urban Unicorn, Top Tom Ballers, a lot of the Toms. I remember the Toms were up there quite frequently. KJ Gamer as well.
Indeed so. What's it going to be? So who do we think is going to excel in the wet here? Like any one name you think you can pick out?
Well, of course you've got really heavy braking zones in the wet, which is very difficult to get right in these kind of conditions. Particularly if you're running a high brake pressure.
Indeed so. So who was first on track? I think it was I think you pronounce that Syrah. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Here's our Syrah.
It's like Syrah. Sorry if we pronounced your name wrong. Yeah, I think he was indeed first.
I'm not even sure if I pronounced it right, to be honest.
On board with a lap of the Haas driver as he comes in
well.
the stadium section. I'll let you go through the lap.
Okay, so being the wet and the run up to the line is in the corner, he does get a bit loose, but he manages to hold it together. There's yellow in Sector 2 and Sector 3. That's just for those backing off trying to get some room. Bit shaky and no DRS either because of the conditions, obviously. That was made a rule in 2015, I believe. No DRS in the wet gets it slowed down pretty nicely for turn 1. He broke a bit earlier than maybe he wanted to. That's probably he's still getting his head into the conditions. And to be honest, the track is probably going to improve later on. So these laps aren't that major at the moment. Braking for turn 4 locks the outside tire going into the left-hander. Still quite a bit of understeering for the wet for that Haas. Gets all over the curb to try and get as much purchase into that corner as he possibly can. A bit more oversteer, but then you've got to expect those things from the wet. I actually think it's a bit quicker to get that small kick of oversteer and just get that extra bit of leverage out of each corner, just to get that extra bit of speed out of it. But anyway, through the S's, it seemed pretty planted from what I saw then. You're not putting in too much steering lock, because you don't want to have any risk sort of spitting out. There's a bit of an extent, but wet conditions normally improve the track limit system, because it is a bit inconsistent on this game.
Of course.
You've seen lots of evidence of that. But rain normally softens it up a bit, so you can take a few more liberties than maybe you're used to. But that's how he likes to go through there. Now, run up to the line, it's a 1:26.8. We have no idea what that means for the minute.
Yep, he's the first man to go across the line. Everyone's went through. KJ Gamer was actually slower.
2 seconds down.
Tom Battler's
he may have made a few mistakes, because Tom123 for the win is only 5 tenths behind.
The added bonus with these conditions is if the weather is dry for the race, they don't have to use these tyres again. Well, even if it is wet in the race, they don't have to use these same set of tyres again, but they have to be careful with how many sets of tyres they use, because you only get two or three sets of both tyres of the wets and the intermediates.
To be honest, I don't know for the race what they use, because obviously for the race there's obviously a lot more people going over that line, so even if it's heavy rain, I would have thought it would still stay inters no matter how heavy it got. So I would have thought for the race it would be a 2 inters race, yeah. 2 sets of inter.
Yep. If it is dry in the race, what strategies do we expect to see, do you think?
Depending on how people feel on their tyres, I'm expecting a one-stop between Ultras and Supers, because Supers last quite a lot more than Ultras. But there's a small gap between Hypers and Ultras, but there's a big gap between Supers and Ultras, even though there is one difference between all 3 of them. There's normally, the 2018 season, I'm not really, still not too sure why they did it, but sometimes, one example is China, they missed the Super Soft, and they just had the Ultras Soft and Medium. I'm not too sure why that's a thing, but maybe they just wanted quality tyres and race tyres.
I mean, it makes a massive difference as we see Bacon Yum miss the apex by a mile there. I think he's backed off of his lap. Yep, he has indeed.
I'm actually looking around some of the drivers at the moment. A lot of people are getting front lockups, and I think that's just the higher brake pressures coming into play, because obviously in the wet there's a lot more chance they're going to aquaplane and maybe lock up a front left or front right. So top 3 at the moment is VSR, Sierra Kowalski and Urban Unicorn. Eke goes P7 in the Renault.
Yeah, I was just on board with them there to see finish this lap.
Yeah, only 2 people haven't set their laps yet, and that's the 2 Williams of Bacon, Yum and Kemira, but I have a feeling that's just because of invalidations. Obviously because it's wet as well, we'll be probably seeing people setting strings of laps rather than just one, because the tyres don't wear out nearly as quickly as the dries do. And Benzilla's gone for a small spin. Hasn't hit anything.
KJ Gamer very nearly lost it as well. Interesting to know. We have Key Mirror actually coming back out again. Oh, there goes Syrah going quickest once again. He's new actually for this round, so chance for him to prove his worth, I would say.
Hmm. The KJ Gamer actually comes in, he only sets the 1 lap. I don't think he's too happy with his setup, because his teammate Beloru, I'm going to kill him, is actually quicker than him by around 2/3 of a tenth. So not too much between them, but he is still ahead.
Indeed so. These conditions also, I think, prove another problem. And it's a problem of spray, of being able to see in front of you.
I don't think it's as much of a problem as qualifying, because obviously you want that space, you don't want to see running near people. I don't think spray here is a problem. If it's still the same conditions in the race, that's when it could become a problem, because Mexico, with that long run down to turn 1, with all that spray and that heavy braking zone, we could see quite a few lost front wings.
Yeah. Because of the long run down to turn 1, you really don't want to be on pole position here, because in a way pole position is kind of the worst position you could be, because you can't get slipstream off of anyone down to turn 1.
I mean, ideally you'd want to be either second or on second row, because then you can actually get that slipstream off of somebody else. Sierra's still going quicker. He's liking these set of tyres. He's improved his own time by around 0.3 of a second from when he started. He's done 3 laps on them. Obviously, we still don't know what the weather's going to be like for the race. So we're going to have to wait to see, unless one of the drivers tells us, or we're just going to have to wait to see what happens. We're around halfway through the session now, as well. Yep.
I would say one person that is a lot lower down than I was expecting to see is Infamous. Not liking these conditions as much. I was following him going round, and yeah, he's a bit lower down as well. He's down in P12. That's quite surprising. Find the leader. See if he's still going round.
He is.
No, I think he's finally finished. Yeah, he's finally finished.
Battery.
Urban Unicorn's in P2, so once again he's showing his pace in these conditions. Or yeah, come back in again.
Yeah, if anything, the wet tyres will get better for a few laps, because obviously it takes a lot longer for them to heat up, because you're going through cold puddles and such, and they've got much thicker tread, and all that sort of stuff. So, if anything, they are getting warmer and faster and stickier and all sort of stuff as they go. So I'd say by the time you get to lap 3, that's their optimum sort of point. Tom 123 for the win has also done 4 laps on these, and he goes within half a tenth of VSR Syrah.
So the times are getting closer. I mean, there's about, I don't know, I'm just going to have a look at the gap in between at this moment in time. It is 2.1 seconds between the top 15.
Wow. Obviously, Mexico is quite a short track, so the times won't be that scattered anyway. I think the Liga commentated the other day the whole field was separated by 1.5 seconds. So yeah, not too much of a gap at all.
Yep. And the more competitive the field, the closer the gap's going to be. Just the way it really works.
Just going on board with Tom 123 for the win now. He's doing a 5th lap on these tyres. He went through this track for sector 2 and he's around, I think it said, a 100th down on his best time, so he could improve and maybe even go faster than Syrah, but I don't think he will. He did make a couple of mistakes in sector 2.
That looked like a big cut. Let's see if this is still a valid lap, because I think he may have
still pushing
this lap.
But I'm not sure if that's just going to be an attempt to show what he could do. Nah, it is valid.
He was slower.
Oh, he was slower. Let's point out as well also, P3 and P4 have the exact same time.
Oh yeah! That's quick. Also, what are the chances of that actually happening in a lobby of 2 people or even 3 people having the same time?
Well, 2 people, not that rare, because when you think about it, if Benzilla spun as he tries to come in pits, so he's not really.
Yeah,
he's having quite a loose rear end for the conditions at the moment. Hopefully, it'll feel better in the rain. I have a feeling this is more of a evidence of having a dry setup on, and still get a 3rd in with the dry setup. It's pretty impressive. So yeah, 2 people is pretty high, I think, to get the same time, especially in this game where people are so much closer than they are in real life. But 3 having the same time is very rare. I think in real life that's only ever happened once.
Yep, and I think Kowalski invalidated his lap. He's backed off. I think KJ Gamer.
It does say 0 laps
actually
on his tyres though, so I don't know.
Yep. KJ Gamer is now in last place to note. Actually, he's slow. He is on another lap though, so
I'll go on board with him now.
Will improve this time around.
He does brake very early for turn 1, so I don't know if he's being overly cautious on his brakes at the moment or what, but he's pretty
could be going for the
decent
slow and
first
fast
sector
out
so
approach.
far. He's going to cross the sector split now. He's 4 tenths up, so he's definitely improving. He did just have a scruffy few laps. So 4 tenths up, he's already going to be moving up to P11. That's 5 places in the first sector alone.
A little wide there, but I think he just about kept it within track limits there. Very easy to do in these conditions.
Like quite violent and sudden wiggles. He's sort of having to guess where they're going to pop up. He's currently 4 tenths up on his best.
Interesting thing to note, by the way.
I think he'll go in the top 10.
Interesting to note on tyres. Sorry to interrupt you there. There are a few people that have actually started setting times, or have set times, in 3 people or 4 people in the intermediates.
But it has reverted back to light rain. KJ Gamer going 12. So people are going to dive in soon onto wets, I think. Because it has gone back to light rain conditions, so yeah. I think we're going to see quite a few on inters now. The 2 Saubers actually then. One coming out on inters, one coming out on wet, so 2 different strats here.
Interesting to note there. I think the KJ Gamer has carried on this lap though.
Inters. Yeah.
Let's see if he...
We've got a top time on wets, Urban Unicorn on inters.
Interesting. And Urban Unicorn is actually just coming out, so we'll see on board how he actually gets on.
Yeah, so one strat is definitely going to be faster. It's just a question of which one at the moment. Valoru's
Does look like he has enough grip.
Is he Valoru on his debut? I think he is. He's P6 at the moment.
I think,
decent
yep.
so far.
Yep, he was not here last week, so that would indeed make this his first race. I think we have about 2 or 3 new names here this week. I mean,
yeah,
Jam
I think
Pancakes.
I'll just go Jam Pancakes, Valoru, and Syrah are the new drivers, I think.
Yeah.
From what I could see. Eke going P3.
Oh. Ooh. Good luck from him there.
And Wets again.
So it's an interesting strategy mix here.
I want to see if any of the Inters guys are on a lap or not.
KJ Gamer still improving on the wets though. He's up to P8. He's up to P6 now.
Okay, so that's just evidence of the track drying out, I think, or getting dry to the point that it will before the end, because it is still spitting. It won't get completely dry, or not even close. VSR Infamous is just setting a lap on the Inters, I think. Didn't show me his Delta. That's not helpful. I don't know what I'm going to expect from it, unless he's invalidated it, which is a possibility.
To note also, the current pole sitter has come back out in the intermediates.
Okay, so obviously there's something in the garage. Infamous goes up a few places on Inters, up to P8 from P12. So people are obviously starting to feel it on those Inters. KJ Gamer is around 100th down on his best, and he won't have enough time to pit and go back out again on a set of Inters. So this will be his final lap coming up now, I think. He'll have one more lap to improve. Urban Unicorn taking quite a leisurely lap on the intermediates at the moment. Benzilla is on a lap. He's P4 at the moment, so we'll just see how he can improve. I didn't catch his Delta for the first sector. From what I saw, it looked like he was able to brake a lot later on these Inters than he was on the wets earlier.
From the looks of it, a lot of these guys are running dry setups, from what it looks like. So it could be
that's a cut from Benzilla.
He hasn't backed off though.
There was a big cut on at turn 8, the long left-hander going into the S section. Oh, forecourt. Yeah, he's backed off. He's gone to battery 0.
Back to Tom then.
Yeah, KJ Gamer's run out of fuel. He's going to be P4 at most.
It's going to be interesting because, well, he's actually probably in one of the better positions for the race start due to the fact that he just has to worry. He does have to worry about defending, but he can also attack quite a bit at the same time. Tom, I think that was a big mistake from Tom 123 there.
We're on board with Tom at the moment. Actually, no, we'll go on board with Syrah because he's on his last lap at the moment. He's on pole, at provisional pole at the moment. Just a question of any other of the Inter runners. I think the Inters are faster now. If any of the other Inter runners can actually take it off him. Pretty solid.
Mighty Dylan's popped himself into P3.
Yeah, so Inters
didn't see him do that at all.
Faster now. I think he was in last before. But it definitely shows that these are the faster tyres now.
It's all about who crosses the line last then. Eke has crossed the line. He will not improve. He's P4 at best.
I think he set his last lap on the wets though, didn't he? Yes, he did. So here comes Syrah. Is he going to improve? Yes, he is.
He does indeed.
4 tenths.
At 126.1. Go on board with Tom.
That's quick. Kowalski's P3.
Oh! That's a big mistake from Tom. 1, 2, 3 there.
Tom Ballard goes second as well. Overtakes the other Tom by 6 thousandths. So, a bit close.
Yep. That was it. Tom 1, 2, 3 had a massive moment. Urban Unicorn goes P2.
Benzilla's about to complete
I just watched him just go.
P3 for Benzilla. Urban Unicorn goes P2.
Nice
I didn't even see that. By the way, Syrah and Unicorn have got the same time for pole position.
If you cannot get any closer than that,
he gets the pole position.
Here comes Mighty Dylan, and he goes P4, so that was the final car. So I think that's the first time I think I've ever seen a pole position lap that is the same time as second place.
Not the first time I've seen it. I think it's just the second time I've seen it, and the first time wasn't too good for me because I was the one that lost out. But anyway, the order. Syrah gets pole by nothing. Him and Urban Unicorn in
Yes.
the Alfa Romeo had exactly the same time. Going down.
Yep, I'll just run through this grid while you run through those.
Yeah, Kimura, Benzilla, Mighty Dylan, Tom Battlers, Tom123 for the win, VSR Infamous, Kowalski 11, Top Tom 53, Valoru, Eke, KJ Game at Bacon Yum, Jam Pancakes, and NW Null. Or Null, whatever you want to say. Null.
That's going to be interesting. I mean, Syrah proving that on his debut, he has the pace to potentially win. We'll have to see in the dry conditions if he has the metal to prove it, or the metal to actually go along with the wet, his pace in the wet. It's dry weather. It's blue skies as well. So, what tires do you think they're going to go for, and what strategies
Ultras.
are we going to see?
Ultras or Supers?
I think no one's going to go for the hypers here, are they? Since they have a free choice.
Unless they just want to overheat their tyres, then go for it, but...
I mean, the hypers will only last about maybe 6-7 laps at most around here.
Probably not even that.
Yeah,
People's driving styles, people's setup can completely change that. So, completely change how long they last.
So, as we have the drivers readying up, we'll see what the drivers... We'll have a look at the driver tyre strategies. Or tyres that they chose when we actually get onto the formation lap. So, out of the front top four, who do you think is going to have, say, the best start out of that lot, do you think? And who do you think... Who do you put your money on to win?
Just from starting position... You've got to say Kimura, I'd say, because he's got the slipstream and he's slightly ahead of P4. So, just by starting grid, I would have thought him. But from starts that we've seen in the past, I'd say Urban Unicorn.
Interestingly, only one person out of the entire field went for the supers. Everyone else went ultra softs.
Bacon Yum is the only one for supers. And I know him. I know he tends to run more of an aggressive or unique strategy. I know that from actually being his teammate a few times at WXL.
Ooh, this is going to be interesting. So, this is all going to be about which drivers can keep their tyres alive the best. Because they're pretty much all on level playing field in terms of the same tyres to begin with.
So it'll be just complete setup differences and driving talent at the start then, bar Bacon Yum, who's also got a tyre difference.
Yes. I think his tyres may take maybe a lap or two longer to heat up than the people around him on the ultra
I know
softs.
the supers do last quite a bit longer. But of course, when these guys finish their stint and go to the supers, yes, Bacon Young will just be on much older supers. But when he goes on to the ultras, everybody else's supers will already be part way through their life. But he'll have fresh ultras, so the pace advantage he will have when he pits for his ultras finally is going to be just completely out of this world. Hopefully. I'm not a jinx.
Yeah, hopefully we don't jinx him. We do apologies.
I have a bad
also,
habit
amazingly
of
to note, everyone made it through the formation lap.
I've never seen that before.
Even the leagues I've done, I've never noticed that
before. That's amazed me more than the same quality time. Anyway, 1, 2,
on board
3,
with
4,
key mirror and P3.
5 lights. And it's lights out. We won't see many position changes for about another kilometre. So down towards turn 1, the Williams of Key Mirror actually got a better start than Urban Unicorn there. It all depends who gets the slipstream from the Haas driver into turn 1. I think they're going 3 wide.
My God.
Yes, they are. The Haas, the Sauber,
it looks like
Williams,
4 or 5
all
wide further back.
I think the Toro also cut the grass a bit there. The Haas is going to have to go around the outside of the Sauber. He manages to make the move stick. He's kept the...
How did they all keep... Oh, that's interesting. What's that?
Yep,
everyone
he's kept his pole position,
clean.
but obviously the Sauber's going to challenge him to turn 4 as well.
Go through that?
He's going to
spin!
hang it around the outside.
Spin from Urban Unicorn, nearly half spun.
Big debris there in the background. I think that was from a Renault of Eke, who qualified well earlier. KJ Game has fallen down the order. Bacon Yum is still in P15. Dot Thomas had a dreadful start as well. But the pole sitter keeping his lead. Urban Unicorn behind him. Kimo losing 2 places. Mighty Dylan up into P3 with the Ferrari as well. So that was quite a feisty start from both the Haas and the Sauber.
Indeed. It's going to be hard to keep up with what battles to go on board with, to be honest.
This track is quite good for battles, and can I point out, Jam Pancakes with the +7 start. What a man.
Nice.
P15 to P8.
Start. As we're just showing on the screen just now. He's made the most positions along with Farah. Okay.
I don't think anyone had any major damage either, but the Bacon Yum is actually being hounded by the Sauber of Top Tom behind him. He's going to have to hang it around the outside. He wants to keep his position, and he does so. This is a scrap for P14 and 15. I'll try and go to find a battle that's higher up the order. There's a Ferrari and a Williams for P4 and 5 going for it. The Williams goes down the inside, Mighty and hangs it around the outside. I'm not sure how Tom 1, 2, 3 for the win managed to get past the Ferrari, but he did. He's now in P3.
I think Urban Unicorn had a half spin coming into the end of the first sector on lap 1, and that put Key Mirror wide, and I think that let Mighty Dylan through.
Jam Pancakes and VSR Infamous almost going side by side through the S section. That's brave. VSR Infamous, though, tries to go to the inside line, but he's got just enough legs on it, Jam Pancakes, to keep that place going into Sector 3, the stadium section. Back.
Oh, that's a big dive bomb.
Dives it up the inside. Doesn't give VSR.
Oh, that's
VSR. Jam Pancakes any room at all. Jam Pancakes sticks it back up the inside.
Getting the elbows out right there.
Around, but I don't think he has the grip. He's going to get the slipstream of McLaren there behind him, of Kowalski there as too. I think they're going to go 3 wide down the straight. Kowalski loses a bit of the legs on that one, slips back into the slipstream of the Haas. That Haas has got extraordinary straight line speed at the moment. He just can't seem to keep them behind, but they go either side of him. Kowalski does them both in one corner. What a move from Kowalski.
Nice. Oh, I think Infamous is coming back at him though.
Yeah, he is. He's going to have to
go around the outside
if he wants to stick it.
Oh, we have a Force Indy up the inside. No, that's KJ Gamer up the inside of Tom Battlers. It's in the background.
Tom Battlers having worst start of anyone. He's down 6, so not a great start from him. I'm not too sure if anything bad happened. Valoru now making up the most places with up 6 from the start. I think if he makes it to the end of this lap, still with that up 6, or nobody else gains another place, like Jam Pancakes, for example, if Jam Pancakes doesn't gain another place, or Tom 1, 2, 3 another 2, I think Valor is going to get the Supercharge award.
Interesting to note there.
I think Eke might have had some front wing damage, because he's currently going around very lowly, 40 seconds behind anyone else.
Yep, he's already on super, so he started on ultra soft, so yeah, he's already pit. So here comes Ferradur on the inside of Mighty Dylan.
Yeah.
And he's got the move done. No, he hasn't.
Well, no,
Mighty Dylan's gone around the outside.
Around the outside. He's going to try and get the
side by side
around the outside.
And he has went right around the outside, and Mighty Dylan ended up with a time penalty.
I think they both got a 3-second time penalty there. Wow. Mighty Dylan getting a big bit of oversteer then, coming out of turn 5. And chase down that Force India that's just overtaking him. He's got Benzilla now, going to be hounding him all the way through the S section. He's going to be trying to stick to that Ferrari as much as possible. Obviously, he is in the dirty air. He's not going to be able to get the cleanest run. He gets a bit of oversteer coming to the exit of the S section. But going into the stadium section, we've seen quite a few people lose and gain time here. It's just a question of how Benzilla's got that car set up and how well he can get the front end in and how planted he can get the rear end. Tom Battlers is out. Bacon Yum are now out.
That was, I didn't actually see what happened there, unfortunately.
I'm guessing that's a collision. I'm going to go on board with Eke, if you can try and spot any other barrels. I'll go on board with Eke, see if I can spot where it was.
Trying to go for a move down the inside of Benzilla into turn 1. Is he going to be able to make anything stick on the Red Bull driver? He's too far back. He'll have another chance though. I think, into the next DRS zone, and he's a little bit closer this time. So can the McLaren driver do anything on the Red Bull driver? The Red Bull driver goes to cover the inside line. The McLaren has to go to the outside, and he's made it stick right round the outside. Nice move there by Kowalski.
Ow. I think I found where Tom Battlers and Bacon Yum went off. I think they tried to overtake each other in the right-hander going into the stadium, and they've just hit each other, gone straight on, both hit the wall. So that turn of pace, we're not going to see from Bacon Yum, unfortunately. I was quite looking forward to that, but obviously everyone, apart from Eke, is on the same strategy at the moment, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to see a lot of pit stops at the same time. So not a lot of strategy differences, unfortunately.
Oh, there goes Key Mirror. There's Key Mirror in the wall. He's had it. I think he's been tapped by someone. He's missing a part of his front wing, I think now. So I think he might well have to pit.
Trying to see, it feels relatively split up at the moment, if I'm honest. Particularly the top four. As you know, Urban Unicorn are really close to Syrah.
Yep, we also have KG Gamer. Infamous is trying to go down the inside of Jam Pancakes, and he's made the move stick. I'm bored with KG. Well, not KG Gamer, but yes, Infamous rather. And it looks like KG Gamer is now trying to go for a move on the Haas driver. Is he going to be able to do anything? He dives down the inside, lets the Haas driver know he's there. He's going to try and cut back. That's a beautiful cut back. Oh, there's contact. And he's made it stick. A bit forceful, but he's made it stick.
Yeah, I think that contact was more down to KJ locking up both of his fronts rather than Jam Pancakes squeezing him. But there's no damage to either of them. Jam Pancakes won't be that happy with that, but KJ has got past him. KJ now trying to get after Infamous. Infamous after Benzilla. Benzilla previously getting overtaken by Kowalski, so I don't think there'll be much he can do about that. Kowalski's almost pushing Mighty Dylan through these corners.
Yep. He is effectively pushing the Ferrari through there, I'd say, and he's gonna get a fairly decent run. So we're gonna go on board with the McLaren driver.
Hasn't got much battery,
it's down the straight.
He's gonna have to watch that battery. It's ticking down. It's in the last 10%. He's gonna have to lift off on that. But Dylan's gonna have a move on Faloru, I think. Faloru hangs it around the outside. The outside line actually seems to be the optimum line rather than the inside going into turn one. Anyway, Mighty Dylan going to get DRS again. Grassy's going to get DRS again. Are they going to go 3 wide into turn 4? I doubt it, but then Mighty Dylan's going to have to try and go for a move around the outside.
He's going to go around the outside again.
Yes,
he's going to have the inside for next corner as well. Fair play to Mighty Dylan.
Oh, bit of a tap.
Oh, Kowalski, that's very opportune.
As well.
Oh, there's 3 wide almost there.
Wide. No more squeezing, please. That was risky.
Oh, I think they're still side by side. He's made it. And that's really put Faloru out of place there, because now he's got Benzilla all over him. And so has Benzilla got Infamous all over him to note as well.
He's more than all over him. He's
side by side.
Infamous.
Almost.
Trying to go around the outside into the stadium section, gets a switch back. Around the outside of the hairpin stadium section? I don't think that's going to happen. Not in a million years. But again, it is necessary just to put your opponent under a bit more stress, and maybe they find Optimum too. So Kowalski going to get DRS on Mighty Dylan. He's still... Oh, Kowalski going through the grass. He wasn't looking where he was going there, I don't think. And that's just going to invite Kowalski to go past. Mighty Dylan going to have to hang it around the outside, braking a lot later. Going wide, actually.
There's no way he was going to make that work. Yeah, there was not much space with Mighty Dylan to work with there.
I think Kowalski did force him a bit wide, but Mighty Dylan did go very deep on the brakes. Not surprised that Kowalski
here comes Benzilla up the inside of Ferradura.
Oh!
I still can't pronounce his name. Oh, yep, there was contact. I saw that one coming. He wasn't far enough alongside, I don't think.
KJ Gamer is now right behind VSR Infamous after that move. Will we see a move between the Merc and the Force India? Faloru, KJ's teammate, may be holding up Infamous quite well here. So if he manages to make a move on Infamous, Faloru may leave KJ past, and then Faloru just go back to defending from Infamous again. Because if I'm not mistaken, Infamous has been behind Faloru for quite a few laps.
I think he has, because I haven't seen him move. Also to note, the gap at the front hasn't really moved either. It's still about 7/10 between Syrah and Unicorn. So
more importantly, Urban Unicorn is staying within that DRS. So we could see a battle for the lead come the pit stop phase.
we have Benzilla in the pits, which means he did have wing damage from that incident. As we carry on.
Okay, so I think the closest battle we've got is between this Force India and the Mercedes. Not both Force Indias and Mercedes. Force India sandwich with the Mercedes filling, I think is what I was going for there.
Yes. Technically they're all Mercedes powered cars, so it's just Mercedes power, main Mercedes power versus technically Force India in this game, even though it's Racing Point. But what this is doing is holding FORL up, and causing FORL to go defensive, and it's letting Mighty Dylan pull away. As FORL picks up yet another time penalty right there. I think he's had a few now. Oh, there's Infamous with one as well. Very easy to corner cut this track. One of those alongside the likes of Kota in terms of corner cuts. It's all about keeping the corner cuts to a minimum. Yep, this is going to be a move for Infamous, I think.
Even if they both get DRS, I think with that double slipstream, I think Infamous may be able to pull alongside. Although earlier on we did see that Infamous was running a more downforce heavy setup. Mighty Dylan goes defensive very early on for Loru. That was very close.
That was interesting.
Loru's gone straight on. I think Loru might have had a bit of contact with Infamous. Who was that I saw side by side? KJ going on a move for Infamous now. I think Infamous has got damage to that front wing. KJ's going to have to look out. Doesn't manage to make the move stick.
Indeed. And I think Benzilla's had the pitting. Benzilla, for some reason, has gone on to Hypersofts. I don't know if he's meant to do that, but okay.
Kowalski 3-second time penalty. Most of these time penalties, I have a feeling, are being caused in the yeses. Because, well, the curbs aren't big. You haven't got really any reason to not hit them. And you're trying to make it as much time as possible because it's a set of S's, for God's sake. I mean, it's not exactly, you know, S's at Suzuka. They're more similar to S's at Silverstone or the S's at Kota. More Kota, I'd say.
Yep, Mighty Dylan's on the pressure from Infamous.
It's getting a bit of a stalemate. Infamous is going to get DRS. He is going to get Slipstream. He is going to have a go around the outside. Mighty Dylan's not giving him
any of the inside at all. And he's right on the outside.
Him going up the inside. Infamous, even with that bit of front wing damage, I think he might have. Actually, no, I don't think he has got any.
No, I think he got away with it.
He didn't have no DRS.
Looks like the gap between Syrah and Unicorn was 0.3 of a second briefly there, but it's gone back up to 0.7 again.
Flory on NW, no. I don't think Flory got any damage because he got hit by the rear. You can't actually get any rear wing damage. Maybe they should implement that thing for F1 2019. Wink, wink, Codemasters, wink, wink. But I know you're not, so I don't even know why I'm saying anything.
Yeah, of course, you kind of want to fix stuff that's not introduce new stuff that might break the game even more.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather you just... Oh, who's that?
Oh,
Yellows.
It's KJ.
Oh dear.
I think KJ's lost part of his front wing. I don't know what happened there. I was on board with him and he just suddenly went wide. I think he's got a lot of front wing damage. Yep, he does.
Yeah, he has.
I don't know what happened there. Oh, the closest the gap's ever been between the front two.
Oh, they are side by side. Urban Unicorn is having a go at the Haas of VSR Syrah. He did try and make a bit of a switchback to turn 4. He is going to get DRS. He's going to go around the outside. This is for the lead of this race. 2 Ferrari engine cars. Urban Unicorn is going to have to go around the outside, and he actually makes the move stick on the Haas.
The Haas loses the lead for the first time in this Grand Prix. What if Urban Unicorn was pacing himself and just letting Syrah think, I can just keep this lead easily? No. He's in fuel. He's in ERS mode 0 as well. Oh, now he's back up to 4 again. I was wondering what was the Benzilla sits fast lap. He is indeed on Hypersofts. He's not going to be lasting long on those tyres. wonder if he's just going for fastest lap. That's pretty much it there.
After this, he'll probably go super soft and run to the end. That's my prediction. I mean, I want to for ILR, I want to congratulate VSR Sierra, KJ Gamer, for their
Mike
placements
Dillon
in
on
ILR 1.
Mike Dillon coming back though.
So VSR Sierra gets off the law route. I don't know where that was. Anyway,
what on earth happened to him?
Against VSR Sierra. Defends quite well against the Haas. The Haas tries to go up the inside. Was that a bit of contact? Was that a bit of a lost front wing? It might have been. I did get very close for comfort. I'm not too sure if the Haas has gotten damaged, obviously because of that pitch black front wing. I can't tell if it has lost any turning vanes or not. These guys pit windows.
I don't think he has. He's still keeping up.
These guys' pit windows have opened, hence the green spanner on the telemetry.
Yes.
I have a feeling.
We'll see if either of these two come in.
That also might be a an insult held between a couple of the drivers in the chats afterwards. Neither of them come in, so if VSL Sierra has got wing damage, he's feeling confident enough to leave it there. And this is actually the closest battle we've got on the field at the moment. So VSL Sierra gets DRS, the Urban Unicorn doesn't bother to defend it. Maybe he realises there's not really point on such a big back straight. Sierra locks up into turn 1, bit of oversteer as well.
I think it's the more these guys battle, the more it brings Tom 1, 2, 3 into this battle behind. Because you don't really want to battle too heavily because it'll slow you down if you think about it. It's really all about just battling to a point, but not trying to go side by side through every single corner, because if you try that, then you're going to have an issue.
Urban Unicorn's actually gone very, very passive for the moment. He's not using that many revs. He's lifting off quite a lot. He's not trying to not look up. I don't think the same can be said for VSR Sierra at the moment.
No, I wonder
He's
if
using
they're both
a lot
coming
of front end up on that car.
Here
he
comes,
actually
nope,
does pit.
Urban Unicorn stays out. Where does Sierra go into?
This is going to be the stage
We'll
where Urban Unicorn has to pit. Hit, push. So at the moment, if Sierra gets stuck in traffic and Urban Unicorn still has enough life left in those tyres, he may be able to jump VSR Sierra. But from what I saw from the race the other day around Mexico, whoever pitted first did come out ahead. So I'm not too sure how this is going to work.
He's still coming in P2.
Has he?
No traffic.
Christ! Oh, it's because everyone else is pitting at the same time.
Yep, there's a lot of people in the pits. NW knows up to 4th. Well, I think he's on Ultrasofts and will have to stop again because he had an issue early on, I think. Infamous, though, I think has gained heavily with pit stops because I think he's right in the back of Kowalski, and I don't think he was in the back of Kowalski beforehand.
I think Urban
Imagine how Kowalski mugged him up the inside.
I don't think he's that concerned about overtaking him in the pit stops. Because he's not pushing at all. He's got his battery at 0 at the moment, so he's just trying to get to his pit stops. He hasn't actually lost that much time at all to Sierra.
Yep. Also remember that Sierra does not have any traffic. He's got clear field in front, clear air in front of him, so you can push as much as he feels need. We'll go back to the battle between these two in a minute because I think Urban Unicorn is definitely in pits, so we'll see where he is. If you want to keep an eye on Urban Unicorn, I'll keep an eye on Sierra and see where he is.
So Urban Unicorn just came out of his pit box. I can
and
hear
here comes Sierra down the straight.
Coming past. There he is.
He's jumped him. The extra lap made the undercut.
Oh, so Red Bull going to play a part in this?
Has not worked. He hasn't. Nope, he has not. He's very close, but he hasn't jumped him.
Urban Unicorn already looking at those super softs.
Yeah, I know. I will get it. Tires.
Not enough to make a difference. It's like Infamous now over the back of Kowalski. both having DRS somehow.
He's not close.
Not too sure how that's worked, but not sure who Kowalski's gotten DRS from, but there we are.
You conspiracy theorists can work that one out.
Urban Unicorn now around 2.8 behind Zero, so that 15 a lap later is costing 2 seconds.
Also, the way of how lax he was on in his in lap really probably didn't help him.
Just checking on any penalties. Zero doesn't have any penalties. Urban Unicorn doesn't either.
Nope. What this pit stop has done though is it seems to have spread the field out a little bit more though.
Well, the closest two at the moment are Benzilla and Null.
And I think Null's just been overtaken from the looks of it, considering that Benzilla is on Hypersoft, so... Bearing in mind Urban Unicorn will have...
Supers. KJ's come out on Hypers as well, so I don't know what his plan is.
Not sure, that's an interesting one, because you're not going to be anywhere near to the end to go at the end on those.
The Urban Unicorn isn't catching, but he isn't losing from Syrah at the moment. He's sort of just playing the game. Tom123 for the win is around 6/10 behind Urban Unicorn, but Urban Unicorn seems to be much more confident in the corners than that Rebel is at the moment.
Yep, I'm noticing a lot of use of very either low ERS or none. That's 3 seconds. That's going to cost him. I think Tom might have one behind him as well, though. I'm noticing a lot of low ERS usage through the S's for these drivers, the ones I've been on board with through the middle sector.
That's supposed because they're not using, they're sort of, well, they're coasting through the S's for the most part. They don't feel any need to accelerate, they don't feel any need to get any sort of top speed. So why not recharge the batteries up through? Because a lot of people, when you look at the esports, in the slower corners where they don't need a big boost of power, they just knock their battery back down to 0, and when they get on a big straight where they need it, they just put their battery up to 3 or 4, and they play a game between those two extremes rather than just leaving it, alternating it between 2 or 3 for the most part. KJ Gamer got past Mighty Dylan.
He's on Hypersofts, so...
Yeah.
I wouldn't imagine those Hypers are going to last long, though.
No, I think they'll probably go off this lap, maybe next lap.
Mighty Dylan's still keeping with him though, so I wonder. KJ Gamer's done 6 laps on those Hypers. I can't imagine they'll last all that much longer than what he's done on them already.
Benzilla, 3 seconds time penalty. Tom's starting to fall back from Unicorn. He's not going to get the DRS this time round. Unicorn's still not gaining on Syrah, so I have a feeling that DRS that he had when he was behind him was helping him out quite a lot.
Well, slipstream is a key part of a lap round this track, because as soon as you lose slipstream, you're going to lose a lot of time, because you've not got that extra level of performance that you might well have if you were in slipstream.
I mean, a set of supers are a lap younger, but that doesn't really mean all that much.
I think the only battles that are really going on is I think Benzilla has pit again. I think he's finally come off his Hypersofts. So he did 9 laps on those Hypersofts.
Tom are going for it, not Top Tom, Infamous.
Yep, I'm on board with that as is at the moment. So I'm going at the moment between finding out what's going on. Tom's actually reduced that gap again, actually. The gap at the front is staying static between about 2.8 and 2.9 seconds.
I think Urban Unicorn isn't liking those softs as much as he liked those ultras, because he's fallen to 3.1 seconds, and Tom's gained on him by a couple of tenths.
Indeed. Infamous isn't close enough to make any kind of move on Kowalski, and I think at that range, I wonder if he's going to have dirty air issues from the McLaren in front, punching a hole through there and just putting a whole load of dirty air back towards the Mercedes. Because the Mercedes has technically always been a car that doesn't really like dirty air and following. But anyway, sorry for interrupting. Carry on.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I've noticed he loses quite a lot, but again, I think it might be because of the dirty K through second time penalty. I have a feeling we saw earlier Infamous didn't have a car that was suited to straights, so I think he might have quite a high aero proficiency for this car.
Mate,
but of course, if you've got a high aero for a car, when you get in dirty air, that's going to affect you even more than if you just had low aero. So he's losing more time in the corners than you usually would, compared to what his usual pace is like.
Yeah, as you were saying that, I was watching Mighty Dylan try going on the outside of KJ Gamer. It didn't really work, and he's fell back again to about 0.8 of a second. The only saving grace at the moment for Tom is if he just keeps within the DRS, he can constantly put Urban Unicorn under pressure. You can just keep piling the pressure on without really making a move, and just wait for Unicorn to make a mistake, and just capitalise on that. And it only takes one mistake when you've got DRS and this sort of level of how close these two are, for it to actually have an effect, I'd say. Anyway, so Tom is he's very close to Urban Unicorn this lap. Can he move for any particular moves? I don't think so.
Oh, he goes a bit wide.
That's that's the effect of understeer right there, I'd say.
Yeah, I think this is the reason why
turn there.
We're not seeing many overtakes form, is because of that S section. People will just keep sort of falling back, and then when they get DRS, they gain again, but they're not close enough to really make that move. Like, Infamous has been behind Kowalski for God knows how long.
I think he's been behind him for about 5 or 6 laps now. He's just not getting anywhere near close enough to make a move.
That was a big slide. It looked
I'm going to assume
cool,
that depends on.
but the lap times won't after that, because he almost lost DRS.
Indeed.
I think if he did lose DRS, then that would have removed
I'm
any
watching
possibility.
Urban Unicorn lock up a lot. He is locking up quite a fair bit on the supers as to what he was in the ultras. Oh, Mighty Dylan's gone round the outside into turn 1, or he's gone to the inside and managed to get the move done before he's even got to turn 1 on KJ Gamer.
Yeah, those hypers are
KJ
really
Gamer's
starting to go on KJ Gamer's Force India now. If he pits,
he's done
he'll
10
probably
laps
come out in P11.
He's got
Set of
better
ultras will be looking good for him now, I think. Oh, Benzilla and Eke swapping places. That's because Eke's in the pits.
Indeed. Now, I think, once again, it's status quo. We have Tom 123 on the back of Urban Unicorn. Urban Unicorn, I think you're definitely right. He doesn't like the super softs. For some reason, he just doesn't seem to have the pace that he had on the
Tom's got
ultras.
the DRS. I think he might be close enough to remove.
Close as well.
He's gaining on the Sauber. He goes to the inside. He dives up the inside. Uses a lot of engine braking. Though. Urban Unicorn tries to get around the outside, but I just don't think he's got the grip. They both give themselves time penalties.
I think that's 9 seconds for Tom, maybe 6 seconds, I think. And KJ Gamers have got 5 second stop go for speeding in the pit lane.
Is Tom going to have around the outside? I think he might be able to, because they're...
Oh, that's RG Bargy.
Tight right-hand hairpin. I think Tom's got the move done. They both gave themselves a time penalty. A quite harsh penalty, I think, because they were a battling game. I mean, you've got to admit that.
Yeah, that thing, the game doesn't... I feel like the game doesn't take into account when you're side by side with someone, you kind of have to cut part of the corner out so that you can actually make the corner without taking the other driver out. Sometimes I don't think the game understands that. It just reads like, oh, you just cut the corner.
That's what I refers to what I said earlier about some of the track limits being just inconsistent as heck.
There's 6 seconds for Infamous now. Syrah still has managed to keep himself away from getting penalties. Again, Urban Unicorn's being very passive down the straight. He's in ERS mode 0 down the straight. And he still is in ERS mode 0.
We're about to see KJ move on NW Null. He will maybe have a points finish after all this. He's not had the best race by anybody's imagination. He's starting in P4. Null tries to go back up the inside. I wouldn't even think that was a place to cut back at someone. But he tried to anyway.
Null's actually not done yet though, because KJ Gamer I don't think he's moved the move in the best place. What's he doing?
I have no idea. Maybe that's just a bit of frustration coming out.
I wonder if he's just saying to him he's not going to fight him, I wonder. It's the lap difference. Or tyre difference, who knows?
I would say a safety car would probably fix this race, because that means everyone will come in, everyone will be on the same sides, everyone will be much closer together, it would be amazing, and yeah, we get great battle. But no, Codemasters, because we had the safety car glitch in the last game and in this game, what they've done is they've made it so the safety car pretty much, I don't think ever comes out anymore, even the safety car on. And that's one thing I don't like about the Codemasters mentality, because instead of trying to fix it, they just take it out of the game. And it's just not available for anybody anymore. Like, tyre temperatures are no longer a thing either. You can just push the whole race and not worry about it, really. I think the only race where it kind of still matters is Singapore.
Of course. Tyre is still extremely high, even, well, it's not as bad anymore with the tyre, with the new patch that fixed the tyre temps, especially if you were on pad. That sort of area. Because the Hypersofts died after 3 laps around Singapore. Somewhere around about that. I'm wondering if Urban Unicorn was back to the Battle for Top 2. I wonder if Urban Unicorn was playing it, I'd say I wonder if he was recharging his battery back up again.
Because he has caught back up
to
to 1, 2, 3, and he's got 100% battery to use. I don't think he'll have a move into turn 1, even if he does have the run of all runs on turn 1, 2, 3. He gets all the slipstream, all the battery, all the fuel, everything he ever needs. He might have a run into turn 4 though. He breaks quite a lot later than turn 1, 2, 3, and it depends on his line if he's able to, and I don't think he is, because even though the back straight is still quite long, I still don't think it's short it long enough for him to be able to conjure a move out of it.
No.
Kowalski's still
neither
in
of
front
the
of
actual
Infamous, although the gap is a lot smaller than it usually is.
Indeed. It's now coming to a point where how much longer do you think Infamous will be legitimately able to sit behind this McLaren and stare at the back of the gearbox of the McLaren without being annoyed by it?
I would have started to get annoyed about 6 laps ago, but he's still there. He's not able to make a move. I think it's more just excellent placement of the car, excellent use of the battery, fuel, everything for Kowalski. Because Infamous is not having a great time with his tyres by the looks of things. He's oversteering quite a lot, particularly through the stadium section.
Indeed. Urban Unicorn is closer, but not that much closer. Nothing yet. He's only sitting in mode 2 in the ERS, in medium DRS.
Not DRS from Infamous. Kowalski hasn't got that much battery. I think Infamous is going to go up on the inside. He is. All that waiting may have finally paid off. He goes up the inside. It's on 1, 2, 3 with a time penalty. I think it'll be much closer to 1-4 now. DRS Kowalski hugs the inside line. Infamous is going to have to go around the outside, although we have seen this is the superior line into turn 4. I think he might have it done. Kowalski tries to get the switch back. He doesn't manage to get it done. I think that's going to be P5 now for the McLaren, but we have seen he has been able to treat that McLaren a bit better than Infamous has been able to handle that Mercedes. So we might see him fight back, but no, he gives himself a 3-second time penalty as he goes into the S section.
I think they both got about the same amount of time penalties to actually note. They've both got about 6 to 9 seconds each. Oh, Urban Unicorn.
Close Urban Unicorn is some 1, 2, 3, by the way.
I think he tried to go for a move into the final sector, into the stadium section.
Has Infamous had an accident? He's back behind him again.
I don't know. I just went on board just beforehand. I must have run wide.
Any from wing
from
end
the
plates?
looks of-
Is he just had a bit of an oversteer moment going into the third sector anyway? He gets DRS again. He's not going to have to dive up the inside. He gets past Barty fairly easily. A bit of confusion there from these
clear
two.
it again.
I don't think Kowalski will be able to challenge him into turn 4. Obviously, there is only one DRS detection zone, so one activates both the zones.
I honestly think this race might come down to penalties for second place. Because I don't know what the penalty front is at the moment between Tom and Urban Unicorn.
I'll have a look this time since
have...
I'm not the one streaming. Right. So Urban Unicorn has 2.
So he's got 6 seconds.
Tom has 4. So
he's got 12 seconds worth of penalties then.
Yeah, he'll need to clear.
So Urban Unicorn,
unless Urban Unicorn gets another one.
Second place.
Yeah, unless Urban Unicorn gets another one, Tom will have to clear him by 6 seconds to get that second place. I can't see that happening, if I'm honest. And hang on a minute, how many seconds has Infamous got?
I don't know. I think he had either 6 or 9. So he got 6. Kowalski has more than that. I'm fairly sure.
Let me have a look. So it's going to be out between 2nd and 3rd, and then 4th and 5th. Kowalski has
KJ Gamer.
Wow. He's got 5.
A lot. Okay, so he's got 15 then.
Yeah, he's got 3 penalties and 3 laps.
Of Keymitter very easily. He has 12.1 seconds to Mighty Dylan in P8.
I think Kowalski might even lose a position to top Tom in P6 at the end of it.
Maybe even.
He's only 5 seconds behind.
I also wonder about Jam Pancakes. I'm not seeing his name come up on the actual penalty list.
If we have a look at him then.
I'll keep an eye on the battle here.
He's got 1 warning, so he's the cleanest guy by a country's mile, I think.
I would assume that'd be the same as Sarah. I don't think Sarah has had any. Does Sarah have any warnings?
I think he's had.
Tom's just picked himself another time penalty while you're looking at that.
Sarah has 2 warnings. So Sarah and Jam Pancakes, the 2 Haas drivers, are the cleanest drivers on the field at the moment.
Urban Unicorn not able to do anything, even though he's only about a 10th back. Oh! Kowalski and Infamous side by side.
Oh, that was
Kowalski pushes Infamous a little wide.
Oh,
he's run the outside.
That was a move and a half. I'm not too sure how that move formed, but he's managed to make it stick.
He kind of pushed Infamous a little wide, like just slightly wide, so he can get a better line. And then from there, he managed to just get a better exit all the way around the outside. But this is going to give Infamous the better run and the DRS as they come through the stadium section and into the final corner. The Mercedes driver will have the DRS right here. They head across, and I think he might have the more DRS usage here, as Kowalski will go to defend the inside line. Is he going to be able to do anything with the move? Kowalski doesn't fully defend the inside line, but it really is no hindrance at all to Infamous. He just goes completely around the outside, but Kowalski does brake later than him. So he still keeps the move. It looks like Kowalski's better under brakes. Oh, that's another time penalty. And that is, he got a terrible exit as well, I might also add. So Infamous has gone round the outside, and he has the move done, but there comes Kowalski back at him again. He has to leave space. Nope, I think the Mercedes driver has the edge over the McLaren, and in the same place that he made the move last lap on the Mercedes driver, he was not able to do it this time.
Yes, that was a bit of a weird couple laps for the Merc and the McLaren. I'm not too sure how some of those moves formed, because Kowalski sailed up the inside in turn 1. He was way too late on the brakes for his own good. He locked the rears as well, hence why he didn't get much of a good exit out of turn 1 into turn 2. And then turn 3, sort of squirreling all over with the back end for a little bit. And then he managed to get going. So, yeah, 5 laps left for these guys. Hopefully they can keep it clean.
Well, they've kept it clean so far, so I'm going to assume nothing different is going to change, because at this point it's not worth risking potentially taking yourself at a huge points haul at this point.
Might see a move between Urban Unicorn and Tom 123 for the win, maybe?
I'm on board.
Yeah, maybe not.
Anything?
I thought he was close enough,
nope.
But I don't think Urban Unicorn got a good run through turns 2 and 3. Have a go. But then again, I think Urban Unicorn's mentality is, I just need to stay behind Tom for the moment, and then I'll get that second place. That's why he's not challenging him.
I think that's why. That is good sound knowledge right there for Urban Unicorn. This has, however, allowed, if you've looked at the gap now between Tom and Syrah, it's now 7.3 seconds. Due to them just battling that heavily. As Urban Unicorn's up the inside into the final sector. He's going to make it stick, but... Oh, they're still side by side in the stadium section. Interesting, and Tom keeps it. Oh, apparently I think he might have got an illegal overtake there from the looks of it.
Maybe.
Because he just let him go.
Either that, or he didn't let him go.
Or he was letting him go so he could have the DRS.
That's a risky move.
As Kowalski's pit.
Anyway. Oh, Kowalski! What happened?
Oh no.
Why is he going to pit
He's
lane?
got a 5-second stop go for it. He got a 5-second stop go for his troubles as well.
He's probably going to get the fastest lap now, whatever happens, but he's going to move down the order quite a lot.
Yeah.
He'll be behind Mike
gives
Dillon.
Infamous an easy P4.
Maybe behind KJ Gamer as well. Actually, no, he won't be behind KJ Gamer. Surely not. I don't think so, anyway. No, he's miles ahead.
Indeed.
That's sort of freed up Infamous a bit. Infamous is probably going to be on his own for the rest of the race. Urban Unicorn managed to get past Top Tom. Not Top Tom. Tom 123. There's too many Toms in this league. I don't know what's going on.
Tomception.
3 the last time
That's
I was
what it
here. I
is.
don't know what happened to... I don't remember what the other Tom's gamer tag was, but... Oh no, it's Tom Battlers, isn't it?
Yes. He's still here.
There's 3 Toms.
Yes.
That's mental.
Tom, and Tom. It looks like Tom's strategy of going for try to get Urban Unicorn from him so he could have the DRS didn't really pay off.
No. Because he's now around 7/10 behind with DRS. And because of the nature of Mexico, I'm not sure if they've implemented it into this game, but because of the nature of Mexico, it does have a lower air density, so slipstream does mean a bit less than it usually would.
Kowalski came out in
like
P7 behind Mighty Dillon,
there?
but he got the move. Yeah, something along those lines. As I think Kowalski got an easy move done into the stadium section on Mighty Dillon. No idea why you pit. I'm still confused as to why you pit.
Maybe he wasn't
But
that
maybe
confident on
we'll
his
never know
tyres.
the
He was
answer to that
sliding
one.
about a lot. He'll probably come along with fastest lap now, so...
Unfortunately, in this game, fastest lap doesn't really mean a jot, to be honest. It doesn't give you any extra points.
He's really on it, though, to be fair. Probably the fastest lap we're going to see of this whole weekend.
Indeed.
There's 2 laps to go then.
One
Around
other
2.5
person
minutes.
to talk about. While these two go round, one person to talk about we haven't really talked about since the pit stops is Syrah. He's just kind of done his own thing.
He's let the other 2 battle and sort of sailed away with it, to be honest. I think
Also to note that
one of the drivers of the day
Sorry,
for me is
Kara.
probably Jam Pancakes. I mean, he's up 9.
I'll have a look and see what the actual, in terms of the position changes would be.
Yeah,
Honestly,
right
I'd
now,
be
he's
tempted
most
to-
by 4.
I'm not sure who I'd go with, to be honest.
Uh,
I'd go with Syrah. I know it sounds like it's a cop out, but I would honestly go with Syrah just purely based on the fact of the dominant performance. He
I mean, he did
battled
get
where he needed
Urban
to.
Unicorn back in the pit stops.
played a brilliant. He played a brilliant card when he went for pit stops a lap earlier than Urban Unicorn. So it really came down to after that if Urban Unicorn, if you think about it, he didn't push at all in his in lap, and I think that cost him.
Hmm. Urban Unicorn is going to coast home to P2. Hang on a minute. VSR Infamous is only 5 seconds behind him.
Yep, I think Infamous might get P3. Depending on how many penalties he's currently got.
Unicorn
I don't
has
think
2
he's picked
penalties.
any more penalties since then.
Infamous has 2 penalties, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I think Infamous may get P3 in this. Because Tom has got a bucket load of penalties, from what I understand.
He's got 15 to 18, if I remember
yeah.
correctly.
Hmm?
He's got about 15 to 18, if I remember correctly, as Tom. 1, 2, 3.
Let me check.
I'll keep in that as we're on board
Yes, 5.
with, since there's 5, so he's got 15.
So yeah, Infamous will get P3, I think.
Yep. As I said, it comes down to penalties, but it won't matter for this man on screen right now, because he's coming through the final sector on his debut in FORL. VSR Syrah coming through the stadium section with everything illuminating up for him as he comes through the final corner. And here he comes to take the checkered flag. A dominant performance by the Haas driver.
So it's just a wonder of who's going to finish in P2. I have a feeling that is going to be Urban Unicorn. So 1, 2, 3, only 1.6 seconds behind Urban Unicorn, but I have a feeling that P3 is going to go to VSR Infamous. It does.
I wonder if Tom might even jump him if he's close enough. I don't know how many penalties Tom has.
I don't.
He does jump him.
It just shows how many penalties Red Bull had. So
Sauber, when Kowalski drops down.
Oh, he goes behind Jam Pancakes as well.
Oh, that was. Oh, he's not gonna be happy with that. And KJ Gamer also had a 5 second stop go, but he beats Kowalski by less than. He beats him by 0.10 of a second.
So Haas having the best day then with 35 points. Sauber coming in behind them with 30 points. Oh,
and Benzel has stacked it on the final lap.
Oh dear.
He stacked it in the final corner. I just watched that happen as well. That was interesting. Well done, Benzel. Anyway, that aside, well done to Syrah on the victory. Pretty dominant performance overall, if I would say so.
I mean, he kept the pole off the start. He did lose position to Urban Unicorn, managed to get that back in the pit stop. So all fair dues. It was a well-deserved win at the Mexican Grand Prix. The Haas automation.
Yep. I think he was promoted because I think one of the other drivers may have left. If you remember VSR Verstappen, I think he has left the league. And he was promoted into Haas. I think Matey Dillon was brought from Haas unless Matey Dillon was already in Ferrari. Someone was brought from Ferrari, Haas up to Ferrari, and then he was brought into Haas. As I'll let you run through the grid order.
So the only 2 people without penalties are the 2 Haas drivers, Syrah and Jam Pancakes. Good job for them. The order is VSR Syrah, Urban Unicorn, VSR Infamous, Top Tom, Jam Pancakes, up 10 by the end, so good job from him again. Tom 123 for the win, KJ Gamer, Kowalski, Mighty Dylan, Keymira, NW Null or Null, Benzilla, Eke, Faloru, Tom Battlers, and then the Bacon Yum 007.
Yeah. So, and I think that pretty much sums up everything we really need to say about this race. So, as we look at the final standings, we can round off this round.
Yeah, nice way to put it.
And if I remember correctly, the next round we move on to. If I remember correctly, just let me go and have a quick look at the calendar.
I know it's not the regular calendar.
For the next. Nope, we're still on the same calendar, but it's just different weeks. So we go next to Canada. The circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
Montreal.
That's going to be interesting.
The Corner Cup Grand Prix. Actually, no, the Buddy Hop Grand Prix.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, we can round off the stream there. So if you want to say goodbye, we can round this off.
Well, yeah. It's nice to be here again. We'll be here again in 2 weeks. Not the regular 1 week like most leagues, but we want to avoid a clash. So, yeah, that's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me as well. And we look forward to seeing you in Canada.
When people first came to America,